Macmillan Audio presents Still Here, The Madcap, Nervy, Singular Life of Elaine Stritch by Alexandra Jacobs. Read for you by Andrea Burns. I have come for my courage, announced the lion, entering the room. Very well, answered the little man. I will get it for you. He went to a cupboard and, reaching up to a high shelf, took down a square green bottle, the contents of which he poured into a green gold dish beautifully carved. Placing this before the cowardly lion, who sniffed at it as if he did not like it, the wizard said, "Drink." "What is it?" asked the lion. "Well," answered Oz, "if it were inside of you, it would be courage. You know, of course, that courage is always inside one, so that this really cannot be called courage until you have swallowed it. Therefore, I advise you to drink it as soon as possible." The lion hesitated no longer, but drank till the dish was empty. "How do you feel now?" asked Oz. "Full of courage," replied the lion, who went joyfully back to his friends to tell them of his good fortune. L. Frank Baum, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. This time for me. 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 Stephen Sondheim, Gypsy. Prologue. On the afternoon of November 17, 2014, hundreds of people made their way through a dark rain toward the Al Hirschfeld Theater on West 45th Street in New York City. Settling with a certain expectant jollity into its plush red seats were actors famous and obscure, executives, playwrights, press agents, journalists, out-of-towners, a bronzed billionaire fashion designer who'd pulled up in a limousine, and ordinary civilians arriving on foot with their busted umbrellas. They had arrived not for a matinee, for this was a Monday, when Broadway stages are by long custom dark, but to pay homage to Elaine Stritch, the indefatigable-seeming entertainer who at 89 had died of stomach cancer 4 months earlier in Birmingham, Michigan, a leafy suburb northwest of Detroit. Not for Stritch, the mealy-mouthed, passed away. Her preferred euphemism was left the building. It indicated her fundamentally citified view of life. Plenty of her contemporaries were present, including Hal Prince, the director and producer whose compactly commanding stance and 21 Tonys gave him a Napoleonic air, and Liz Smith, the platinum-haired gossip columnist known as the Grande Dame of Dish. Some in the audience were puzzled, though, by the absence of Stephen Sondheim, the composer and lyricist whose virtuosic work Stritch was devoted to above all others, whose approval she craved more than anyone else's. He had a respiratory infection that day, he said later, but he had also refused an earlier invitation to speak, writing simply that he didn't know the honoree well enough, and sending organizers into frenzied analysis of what exactly that might mean. There were also others much younger, many of whom had discovered Stritch only after seeing her 2001 one-woman show At Liberty, the artful summation of her marathon career conducted with the sole prop of a bar stool. Written with John Lahr, then The New Yorker's chief theater critic, its success had led to the recognition she had longed for since arriving in New York almost 60 years before. She was deemed a living landmark and joyously heralded by strangers in her regular and often untrousered patrols from the Carlyle on Madison Avenue, the last in a series of venerable hotels she had chosen to call home. So far as that went, "I don't know if I really have any home," she said once. "I don't know how I feel about home. I don't know where home is."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?